Today we're gonna make water animation in 10 seconds, 5 minutes and 1 hour. First animation we're gonna do is the 10-second. I have the timer in here. We're gonna make a simple droplet that's falling down. Let's go. Start. Four seconds. Oh my god. 7. I'm rushing. That's it. Okay, let's change the exposure a little. For the first 2 frames, I'm gonna do 2 frames and then 3 frames, stop, play. So that's a 10 seconds animation. Let's count, but that's a terrible animation, 10 seconds. Now we are moving to the animation that's 5 minutes long. Of course, the timer. Let's go. We're gonna make animation like a swoosh pushing the water out, so there will be a little motion going that way and those bubbles will like drop back into the water. That's what we're gonna do for 5 minutes. Time starts now. 5 minutes. Okay, so let's use this as a ground level. So we're gonna make something like this. So the water is going this way. Let's open onion skin this time. And then I believe it should have a couple droplets. I can afford that in 5-minute animation, I believe. We're gonna start making those bubble shapes like that. Okay, I'm gonna leave it as it is. I can't feel it with color. Let's go. I'm just gonna stretch it a little. Yep, that's okay. Let's move to the next frame. Or you know what? We're gonna make it slightly more that way instead of that way. So let's go. We're gonna pop those out of the water. I believe that's a good idea actually, and I'm gonna make a little hole right there. Okay, so then this little droplet is gonna go there. It's 2 minutes already. Oh my god. Okay, I have to speed it up a little. Less talking, more animating. Right. So it's sliding to the left way too much. Let's do something like this, right? And then we're gonna divide this. We're gonna have this forming. That is going to go down faster. The top one is gonna hold for a little longer. I believe that's gonna give a nice effect to everything. Then this one is coming down as well as this one. I'm gonna keep the volume, it's way too small. As on the previous one, the idea was to actually create another color, but it's 4 minutes already, so I'm not gonna have time to do that. That's terrible. Hopefully I can finish this little piece here. Maybe I will spend a little extra time just to create that second color later. I don't know if I want to. We'll see. Okay, so our water is coming down. This one will be getting there with a nice little splash as well 4 minutes, 40 seconds. We're bringing it down as a speed run. We just have couple seconds left and that's it. So yeah, that's the animation for 5 minutes. I like it. That's a cool one. That's a cool one. Would be a cool idea to have some kind of a droplets that will fall down there, but I did not have time to do this. As well as would be cool to have, actually let's do it right now, a little bit of reflection that might add something cool to this entire animation. A little life to make it slightly more organic, just a little. So I'm doing it real time so you will actually know what I'm talking about. And I'm also trying to speedrun that. That's gonna count toward that 5 minutes, unfortunately, but it's over time. Yep, and that's it. One more. I'm not changing the animation at all. That's not the case in here, and that's with the second color. And I believe this animation is not a bad one for 5 minutes. Let's reset the timer, set the timer for 1 hour. Let's play it and let's go. For 1 hour animation, we're gonna create a classic splash. I need to say that every time I'm creating a splash, it never ends up well if I'm going it just straightforward without any sketches. And that one wasn't any different, unfortunately. I was speedrunning this, and as you can see right now, I did it as a flat space without perspective, and then I decided to add perspective. So I changed everything in the process, which wasn't a great idea, honestly. And that ended up terribly wrong. Although the animation, the frames are not that bad, I decided to create that layer with foam, which is pretty cool. And then I decided to add shading to it, so there was probably too many elements, too many layers, because I ended up with like 4 layers or so. Too many of them. So then we have the foam is going down, splash is looking great, but we have only the front part of the splash, which was terrifying because I need more. Of course, as I said, a little bit of shading, darker color, which worked out well. I liked how it ended up with the shading and everything. Okay, so we have this shading, and what next? Next is pretty simple. Of course, a little shading on the water, but the next layer would be the second splash. So let's start creating it. It's going upward with a little delay in perspective to the first splash. It's going down, and at some point it have to hit the ground, so we have some foam, some bubbles on the ground, and then of course I need to make a little bit of perspective, and then there we go. Obviously matching the style requires a little bit of shading, and the water behind it, a little bit of shading on the surface of the water. Okay, and the last part, I had like 10 minutes for it, not too much, to create this little foam at the end. I couldn't figure out how to see the shading in a proper way. It turned out okay, but I had so many problems with it. I had to figure out something on the ground, what should happen, and I can see right now the perspective went terribly wrong. But I like how the water disappears. Alright, that's it. 1 hour, 4 minutes. 4 minutes over timer. Unfortunately, as always, a little bit over time. I don't like this one. Oh my god, I had to rush so much at the end, and I totally, the perspective here was totally destroyed. But is it this much destroyed? This water, here should be slightly bigger, like that. Then it would be kinda okay. So maybe if I would add something in here, maybe that will help it. After this, slightly more expansion, maybe. So I'm gonna do that over time. Overall, 1 hour is not enough to do something like this with shading, with everything. I was rushing so much, but it's a good thing to see how much I can produce in 1 hour. And that's that was a good challenge. I'm not gonna say anything wrong about it. 1 hour. So, well, thank you so much for watching. There we have all 3 of those, and see you on the next one. Cheers.